Goldman Sachs tells its elite customers that rising wages are a threat. Next on your Labor Minute. Hello, I'm Mark Harrison. During last year's presidential campaign, Donald Trump called out Goldman Sachs and promised to drain the swamp when he got to Washington if he were elected president. He was, and as he filled his cabinet, he called heavily on Goldman Sachs alum to fill its ranks. 2 have already been shown the revolving door of the West Wing, but 4 others, including Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, remain. And it was Goldman Sachs, in a private email recently to its wealthiest investors, that raised concern that Americans are finally beginning to see a small increase in earnings, and that if the trend were to continue, it could impact the bottom line of corporations, which they felt was of concern for their investors. The raise they spoke of was the 3% increase in real wages for certain sectors of the working population so far this year. Of note, middle-class income is up only 10% over the past 4 decades, a time period that has seen the wealthiest among us, mostly corporate CEOs, incomes rise by 1,000%. One of the biggest fears put forth by the authors of the newsletter, Goldman Sachs strategists Charles Himmelberg and James Weldon, was that wages could catch up to labor productivity. It's important to remember that if labor productivity rises without a corresponding rise in wages, you are working more for less. And in fact, since 1973, wages and productivity have diverged significantly enough to keep the earnings of average workers flat while making them feel like they are working a whole lot more. 137 hours more a year than workers in Japan, 260 more than in Britain, and 500 more than workers in France. I'm Mark Harrison with your Labor Minute.